there was these young fellas that were over there, were kind of a group of young fellas staring at him. And I was chatting to him. Next minute, one of them walked over and just goes like this, goes boom, and just stuck this thing in his forehead. And I looked at the young fella, and then I turned around, and it was like, I said, is that? Paulie pulled it off. It was a purple dildo that he'd stuck onto his forehead.
Joe presents Baz and Andrew's House of Rugby, together with Guinness.
Who did I enjoy? Christine and the Queens. Do you like her?
Never heard of her.
Very good. Uproot Hootenanny.
It's very good that I've never heard of her.
No, that's terrible. You need to up your coolness and listen to her.
This is like a little podium for you to just say how much cooler you are than everyone else by talking about bands that you can be making them up like Jimmy and the Dog Suckers. I'm like, I've never heard of it. That's the best I could come up with. Sorry.
Name for a band. Naming a band is hard. It took us months to
Jimmy and the Dog Suckers.
name a band. Yeah.
It took me like
Just go with
30 seconds.
Yeah.
Not even. Anything else? Anything else happen at picnic?
I was due to do the Richie Sadlier was on to me about doing his podcast, The Player's Chair, I think it's called, and I couldn't get up in time. We couldn't get a babysitter early enough to allow us to get up in time to do it. So I think Paul O'Connell did it then. So I met him when I got up there. I knew he'd be at it. So what are you laughing at?
Because I knew what's coming.
We've tried to preempt this.
Any stories?
Terribly.
And
Tell them the story.
So I text Paulie then, and I said, because I knew the show was at 1 o'clock. I got up around 2:45 or something like that. So I texted him, I said, are you still around? And he goes, yeah, I came up. And he was up with his family and Emily. So I said, we're over by the main stage, come over and have a drink. And he said, well, we're not going to spend a lot of time here, but
Yeah, do it.
he's there. It's just the image is in my mind now as I'm telling the story. And he said, where are you? I said, I'm down with the food trucks at the back at the main stage. Come down. He's like, okay. And then I saw him wander over, and I was chatting to him, and I was like, well, he's I'm looking to get out of here now, because everyone was coming up to him all the time like, oh, can we get a picture? Can we get a picture? And so I was sitting there chatting away. It was a good laugh. And there was these young fellas that were over there, were kind of a group of young fellas staring at him. And I was chatting to him. Next minute, one of them walked over and just goes like this, goes boom, and just stuck this thing in his forehead. And I looked at the young fella, and then I turned around, and it was like, I said, is that? Paulie pulled it off. It was a purple dildo that he'd stuck onto his forehead. And your man was it was like this standoff where I was there with a drink in my hand, and I was like, what the fuck just happened there? And Paul was there, he just pulled it off, and then he was examining it, and he was like, oh, it's a purple dildo, and he's like, threw it miles away. And then then your man was like, why'd you throw it away for him? Paul was like, what'd you stick it on my forehead for?
He was offended.
Yeah, your man was pissed off that O'Connell threw the dildo away.
Imagine like the end of Braveheart when Hamish lobs the sword.
It wasn't like
sticks on someone else's head.
A chain reaction. I just
it wasn't
bouncing around the main
just for clarity, it wasn't like wobbly, do you know what I mean? It wasn't.
Yeah, I know exactly what type of dildo it was.
It wasn't particularly thick.
Your classic.
It would just be like it was light, but it was prominent in its angle. Yeah, it was erect, obviously. Flaccid dildos are probably no good. But and I don't know. It was really weird, and I didn't know what way to react then. Because when they walked away, I could see them all, and we were like, "Oh fuck, that was kind of a dick move." And I was like, "Yeah." I didn't even mean that, but I was like, "Fuck, a little prick," and I was like, "But okay." I was like thinking, "Oh man, should I have boxed that guy?" And then I was like, but you can't be that loaded that you think that something like that's going to happen.
You can't anticipate that.
Yeah. Because what if they just like, I don't know, like it's just.
It's the sure.
You're never going to expect that to happen. Like you never expect it to be a a purple dildo.
Oh, you'll know for next time.
Yeah. I hope it doesn't become a thing now, where it's like kids start going, "Oh, this is really cool," and they all start doing it. Oh, every time they see Paul O'Connell, they're like on transfer deadline day when they used to do in transfer deadline day. That it's constantly happening. Like, so he's like,
Just has loads of dicks.
no, he's just
Stuck
like
to his
after a
head.
while, it's so like, look, it's just it's not,
Imagine
it's
like
not worth
You
it.
have some Hellraiser.
the ball guy from Hellraiser with just all his dick sticking out of his head.
Yeah. Okay, well, we can move on from that.
Great. Was he ratty? Was he
Oh yeah,
furious?
because it was so weird when it happened. We're like, that just fucking happened.
Such an aggressive move, like,
And-
because you can't place it on the head. Like, it's gotta
No,
be
because you've got to get the suction, so you've got to,
You gotta lick it underneath the
and then onto the forehead, and then it was like, I was like, what did he just do to him there? And then it was like, boom, Paul took it off, and it was when he examined it, and it was like, what is this? And then looked at the guy, and
in the year of our Lord 2019, patrons of Ireland, starving and outnumbered, charge the fields of electric picnic.
I'm just thinking of some other guy just lying on it next. Him reaching down, what is this? Yeah, so that was it. That was the picnic. It was good.
We could do
Psycho.
a few more psychos, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although Paulie was actually a gentle psycho at heart.
Yeah.
He was. I remember once driving home from a game with Paulie from Cork, and he was driving, and I was sitting next to him, and we were just chatting away, and we looked ahead, and there was a rabbit hopping across the road in front of us, and I think we both thought at the same time that if he just keeps on moving, that we'll just go past him. So we're driving, and the rabbit just stopped and just looked straight into the headlights, and Paulie just fucking smacked straight into the rabbit. And you could just hear this dink of the of the bonnet of the car, and he was like, "Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!" And I couldn't stop laughing at what had happened. But he described what had potentially happened, like he was probably in the bushes with his family, and he was like, "I'm going to go out and get you some food," and they're like, "Thanks, Dad," and he's like, "Hey." Hopped out, and then Paul O'Connell just mows them down in his car. So I thought that was
Before he goes, they're like, watch out for psychos, yeah?
He didn't have too much to say as a comeback, so I'm glad you didn't phone him up to get some dirt on me. But there's enough lying around in Limerick.
Exactly. I asked Paulie. Paulie came back with a wonderful response. He gave me basically the running match play for the Perpignan away match, which was that the last group game that you played in the Heineken Cup that year, which he liked to point out that was probably the only match you were ever dropped for in your entire career.
Yeah.
But you came off on the Friday night, actually. He said that you sat in a cafe in Perpignan and handed out scarves and badges and flags to all the Perpignan supporters. And then you came off the bench the next day and scored the third of a 4-try bonus point win, which he also said you did with a right foot step and a left hand fend, which only Paul O'Connell would know that detail off the top of his head.
Get bogged down in the deep.
He probably managed to say what minute of the game it was as well. So yeah, but it was a special game, that one. I certainly do remember it fondly as well. Bonus point win away to Perpignan, so pretty special.
Did he say something about Golov coming into the change room at half time? Can you remember that?
I can pretty much remember most of it, but I can't remember the exact sort of message that was given. But I mean, again,
I think he had a few glasses of wine in him, which he's hard enough to understand as it is.
It's very unlike him to have a glass of wine, right? But just again the sort of Munster way coming through there, and just the passion of getting a bonus point win over there. So it was pretty special. It's an amazing club, Munster. So I love the place.
We had a brilliant one. It was a day out we had, let's call it a squad day out, where we went out and had the crack, and we were on a bus, and there was about 40 of us on it, the whole, from the like development up to the senior players, and we went out in a bus, and we were stopped off for a drink halfway, and when we went to leave an hour later, all the young players had safety belted themselves into the back row of the bus, which was where all the hard old school boys usually sit. So it was the likes of Conor Murray, Peter Manny, Earlsey, Dave Foley, Tommy O'Donnell, Mike Sherry, and it was brilliant. So they put on their safety belts, and they had megaphones and they had signs like as if they were a union, and it was like, hell no, we won't go. And they were trying to change the, out with the old, in with the new. And the bus started, and we just took off driving, and it was a little bit awkward to kind of get them out. And Paulie was the captain at the time, and he was like, Asher, look, give them their moment. So we all just kind of sat down, and then they started getting ahead of themselves and started kind of singing songs and how they're all getting so old and all this kind of stuff. And I remember being at the front of the bus, and then we were just laughing at them. And Dougie, who's the nicest guy in the world, probably just such a gentleman, but you don't cross him. Like he turned to Paulie and he said, "Wouldn't happen on my watch, mate."
We challenged him.
Yeah, he's like, it's like you come home and there's some guy sitting on your couch, drinking your beer, watching your telly, chatting up your missus. It's the same thing. And I was like,
not that similar.
Not really. I like where you're going with this. Yeah. And you could just see the red mist descending over Paulie's eyes.
Is this Paulie pre-kids or post-kids?
This is probably 2009, I'd say. So how old is...
Because he said, I think that the red mist wouldn't have happened as quickly post-kids.
Okay. Oh no, it happened.
That was my impression.
Instantly.
Yeah.
It was brilliant. And he just gathered like Tony Buckley, Mushy, and Mick O'Driscoll and John Hayes.
Forget it. Just bring Mushy.
Just bring Mushy.
Yeah.
The enforcer.
Yeah.
There's a wrestler if you want one. And he just went back, and let's just say they moved. Yeah. Actually, before that, Paulie turned, he goes, right. And he turned away, and then he turned back to me, and he took his front teeth out, and he handed me his teeth. And he was like, hold on to them a second, kid. And then they went back, and yeah, they moved them, let's say.
So that was your big part to play, was it?
Yeah.
You big tough guy holding O'Connell's teeth.
Yeah, someone had to do it, right?
Yeah. You were like mates with
serpent.
Serpent you were mates with the cool kids. You're that annoying little fella that hangs out with the hard guys in school. If you're gonna get into a fight, I'll hold your teeth to you.
Oh, the story is massively backfired.